Slowball and Balboa are both partner dances. So why would we practice them solo? That's what I'm going to talk about with Olga, who created her own platform to practice your dancing solo, which will also greatly improve your partner dancing.
Shoo, shoo, ara.
If you wanna hear some boogie, then I know the place. The Jackson of here when I knock that bass. The drum on that's a candy call 8 feet back. Now you remember 7 on the 5-finger jack.
Hey Olga, it's really nice to meet you here today.
Hi, Dedra. Yeah, likewise. Very nice to meet you, to see you.
I've been very excited to talk to you about solo dancing. So we're going to talk about that. But before we go into that topic, I would really like to know a little bit more about your dance history. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
All right. Well, it all started back in 2007 when I decided to try some dancing. Well, actually, I have always been interested in, movement, been very active kid, doing some sports, a little bit of martial arts, a little bit of gymnastics back in the university. But I have always wanted to dance, and I just didn't know what kind of dance I would like to try. And then at one of the job parties, we had some, I was working as a teacher, so it was lots of teachers at the party, and my colleagues showed a video of Lindy Hop, and they said, why don't you try? We like it, so it's really fun, so why don't you do it? And here how I got hooked. It all started with Lindy Hop, and then after a couple of years of dancing Lindy Hop, or actually I had 1 year break, so I danced for 1 year, and then I was so busy with other things in my life, so I quit dancing. Yeah, that happened in my life. So I didn't dance for almost a year, and then I was like, no, wait a second, I actually do want to keep dancing. I want to develop, and want to spend this fun time with people. So I went back, and that was 2009, and then I restarted Lindy Hop again. So, and I was a little bit like, I always compare myself to Picasso, having different periods of my, so to say, dance career. Like Picasso had this pink period and blue period and this and that. And for me, it was Lindy Hop period. And then it was blues period. When I got really interested in blues, it was, I think, 2010. And I really started traveling more with blues events, and dancing solo blues and couple blues, and teaching a little bit. And then my last dance passion was Balboa. And yeah, it was quite interesting how it all started, because first it was just social dancing, like when I was asked during the party, why don't we dance some Balboa? Yeah, that was fine. Uh, but then one of the dance, partners back in Moscow, he came up to me and asked, "Why don't we compete, in Balboa division?"
Yes.
And I was like, "Wow, I don't really, I never, took any classes. Are you sure you want me to be your competition partner?" And he said, "Yeah, you're a good follow, so we'll figure it out." And so this is how I started dancing Balboa. So it's like my last dance passion, like I said already.
Yes, and how about slowball? Because you also teach and dance some slowball. When did you learn that?
Yeah, so I think it started a little bit later, because first I did a couple Balboa, then I did, I think, approximately like at the same time I started doing some solo Balboa, and then slow Balboa. I tried, I mean, probably first time socially, but then like really practicing and training, it was when I moved to Sweden, and we started working together with Andreas Olsson, working more on slow Balboa.
And did your blues background influence the way you dance slowball?
Oh, I'm sure it is. It is influence, and it did influence, because in blues you really learn how to move slowly to the music, how to feel in the space. You have so much space where you can feel it in, and you play with, you know different parts of a body. In slow balboa, you don't, play so much with the upper body or with the arms, but it definitely gave me some experience on how to move to slow tempos. And yeah.
And does the slow ball dancing also help you in a way now with your balboa dancing?
Yes. I always say if you want to improve your rhythm and your connection in balboa, try slow balboa, because it's like you give yourself more time to figure out things or to work a little bit more on like small things, and then you can really excel later on in doing the same or similar things to faster music.
Yeah.
So it's highly recommended. Everybody, or those people who do balboa, if you haven't tried it, do try slow balboa. You will love it. I mean, I'm not even starting to talk about the connection and a different, that slow swing music, which is also swing, but it still has a different, slightly different character, and it's also very nice to be able to dance to this music.
Yes, and I've noticed that balboa dancers sometimes struggle with filling up those notes, because with the quick tempo, we're used to like continue moving in a faster pace, obviously. So with the slow ball, there's a rush, and I think it's really nice for me to see during weekends and workshops that the rush is like slowly getting out, and they're taking the time to finish moves and really, do the move, like complete
Yeah,
them fully.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
really nice. So you started a platform, I Solo Balboa, where you give lessons in practicing your balboa solo. Why did you start it? What was your motivation behind it?
Well, it was very personal reasons, very, how to say, egoistic, so to say, because I wanted to improve my own dancing. And one of the ways is to do it solo. And back then I had a partner, a dance partner and competition balboa partner, and we were really committed to practice regularly. And his name was Sergei Petrov. It was back when I was living in Moscow. And but because I started already traveling a lot, because of you know because of festivals and because of my work, we couldn't practice regularly. So we decided to fix this by agreeing to practice solo. He was practicing at his place, I was practicing at my home, and then we would come and post it, and we would use these videos to look at each other, to encourage each other and to feed off each other's ideas and to develop our own dancing. So it all started like that. So me really wanting to improve, and this is how it all started. We were exchanging videos. We created a Facebook, not a chat, it was even a group. It was like a group of two people. We would share the videos. We also did other things, like we would share videos we liked and we would comment on those, and of course we would post our own videos a lot. And then the funny thing that once I by mistake I posted this one of my practice videos to my page rather than to this group, so it was seen by everybody on Facebook, or at least by my friends, my Facebook friends. And and then before I realized it, people started like commenting and asking, "Oh, what's that? I really like it. I'm interested. So what you doing?" I mean, back then I was like horrified, maybe a little bit, like whoops, or like more like I did it. Yeah, and I deleted the video, but it was already seen, and people learned that I am doing something on the side or like practicing, and they really wanted to do something similar. So they asked me. Like, would you like to teach this to us? We would love you to teach. Why don't you have like a taster? So it all started like that.
And did you do the taster? Did you start teaching it then? The solo dancing?
Yes, I was like, yeah, why not to share? And I was thinking it's going to be one time thing, just do it, and then actually I saw a lot of interest, and it was not only follows but also leaders, because originally we announced it as like solo Balboa taster for follows, like some follow styling, but immediately I got personal messages from leaders who was super interested, and I was like, can we come? I mean, can we also want to like try, maybe we could join. So I understood the interest and the necessity to do it for everybody. So just after doing one taster, people said we love it. Can we do more of this? And little by little, I started doing regular weekly classes for both leaders and follows.
All
Yes, and
solo.
then it was solo. Yes,
Yeah.
it was solo.
Yeah, it's quite unique, I think. I've never heard anyone else in Europe teaching solo lessons.
Well, I
Like
think that
solo jazz, of course, but not like solo blah blah blah.
yeah, I think that, well, secretly all the advanced people are practicing, with the fridge in the kitchen or when they brush the teeth. So I think if you wanna, progress, you have to practice certain elements by yourself. So I'm sure that a lot of people did it even before I started. It probably, I just, at least back in Russia, I was the first one who started doing it regularly as a class. But I'm sure like people were practicing like solo before me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that also what you do? I see now a picture of you in my head of brushing your teeth and doing your fans, you know?
Well, not when I brush my teeth, to be honest. But I sometimes, especially when I was in process, when I had this like course going on, and I saw an idea could just, pop into your mind anytime. So you could just be walking in the street or like standing waiting for the bus or for the train, and then you're like, and what if I take this element or try this? And then you would try it straight. I would try it straight away. That maybe, yeah. So I could probably like try things a little bit whenever the idea, got me. So yeah.
Yeah. And why is it that solo practicing is so important? Why can we not just practice, in a partnership?
Oh, because when you practice solo, it gives you more time to bring focus to your own body. So it's like body awareness is the big reason why everyone, if you really want to improve, if you really want to become an advanced dancer, you should practice solo, no matter if you're doing Lindy Hop or blues or Balboa. It's just because it gives you time to really think and feel how your body moves, or also how your body looks. And then, like I always say, if you keep what the things that you like, and then change the things that you don't like. Maybe I don't like how this shape looks, or this angle, yeah, so this line in my body, and I will be able to see it and correct it straight away if I practice solo, looking at the mirror, or filming myself and also watching it. I mean, you can't also like look at yourself when you dance um, in a couple, but you have to think about so many other things like connection, and for the leaders, they need to think about the leading, like
Mm.
all of this phrasing and musicality, so many things that also like, so practicing solo, it's a good way to really like separating certain things, and then practicing little elements, certain figures or certain like stylings separately, and
Yeah.
then like really get into your body before you move it to couple dancing.
Do it
Yeah, so
together.
it's
Yeah.
really about body awareness and about gaining this automatic body reactions before you start, distracting part of your brain onto other things like connection or leading or.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think it's possible to practice everything in your Balboa or your swing dance in general solo?
Well, a lot of things, maybe not everything, because like connection wise, you still need somebody. I mean, you can always like take a pillow, yeah, and then like and then like feel okay, maybe like think about the angle where you want to connect. Yeah, but sometimes you do need a human being, so that you
Yeah.
can also get some feedback, because the pillow cannot talk. but you can ask a person, how was that? Is there anything that can be changed? Was it comfortable? Can we try? And if I do this, does it feel better? You know. So in this
Yeah.
sense, it's important also to practice in a couple, because in the end, it is a couple dancing. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also hear you talk a lot about filming yourself. You can do that, of course, in a couple or solo. But do you think if people start doing iSolo Balboa or any other solo training, do you think that filming should be part of that training?
Yeah. Filming really helps, because sometimes you think, oh, I do that thing, and then like, no, you're not doing this thing, and then you can see it only when you film yourself.
Yeah.
And also, especially if you like practicing little things in Balboa, because in Balboa we do a lot of different footwork, right? So it's good to film yourself from different angles, you know. And sometimes when you film um, like couple dancing, you don't necessarily see the right angle, or you're not close enough. But filming just the feet or just the legs, you know, just the leg line, it also helps you to see a little bit better what's happening. Yeah, but practicing solo, like if I come back and summarize, like if everything can be practiced in solo, I'd say yes, mostly. Like apart from variations, you can practice posture, you can practice turning technique, you can practice pure Balboa and ball swing figures, even though like in pure Balboa is mostly about the footwork, and ball swing can be also things that you do with your torso, right? Or like
Mm-hmm.
hips, you know, like
Yeah.
in swivels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you can practice so many things.
Yeah. Yeah, the funny thing is with the filming, I film myself also a lot, and there's always a big difference for me to how it feels and how it looks. It can be like two complete things. Like I feel like, oh, I'm dancing so tiny and subtle, and then I look at the video and it's like huge and big steps. I'm like, oh, this is completely
Yeah.
not the same. Yeah, so
You're
it's
so
good to
right,
film.
saying like
Yeah.
the way you feel and the way it looks from the outside world is two completely different things, you know. And
Yeah.
it's good to remind yourself about this, and kind of try to put this picture, the visual picture, onto the feeling, you know, to kind of synchronize these two things. So you know, this is how little I need to move in order to still look quite
Mm.
big, you know.
Yeah.
So and I think it also comes with learning, again, body awareness. Yes, I just need to move a little bit, and it's already pretty impactful, you know.
Yeah. 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 Indeed. If we bring this to slow ball, I currently try to improve my slow ball dancing by actually doing workouts to strengthen my core, you know, my legs, my muscles, to be able to. For me, I always say like slow ball is slowing down means toning up, because you need more toning up to hold yourself, you know, to stay straight and everything. But are there any other ways of practicing your slow ball solo?
Yeah, like I said, any dance, uh, you can practice slow Balboa solo. Again, like finding your posture, like also finding the relaxedness in the upper body, and all of these footwork variations that we do in slow Balboa. That is definitely can be practiced solo, and it should be at a certain point, if you want to really like progress or improve, make a significant difference. Yes, and also maybe finding your own like voice and styling. Maybe it could be easy if you start doing it solo and like film yourself and watch how your body wants to move and likes to move, and then what you like, you know, visually, and then keep doing that, and then asking yourself what if, and trying different things, just doing it solo first, and then little by little try and do it in a couple. Yes, so that was also one of the ways how you can improve.
Yes, because thinking about slow ball, what are the challenges one could work on practicing? So I'm thinking about balance, I'm thinking about posture, you mentioned. What other things could one do to improve footwork, I heard you saying?
And I'm thinking one more, like definitely can be practiced solo, and that is the flow, this
Mm.
continuity of the movement, you know, that you really teach your body. I mean, in couple you can do it, like we always said, you can always do it, but there's like too many focuses, too many points of attention. And then in solo practice, then you can really like think about how you continue the momentum, how it flows from one part of the body to another. Yes, how you can slow down the movement, like move just a little bit but still move, and then feel it, how it feels,
Yeah.
that definitely can be practiced. The flow, that you teach yourself to always move on to the next or the next or the next, shape.
That's a nice one. I can see, yeah, making like turns or I don't know, movements in general in my living room where you just continue like you're, yeah,
Just
not a stop, but
stepping.
like,
I think
yeah,
just
stepping
stepping. I
through
think it's
it.
a pretty tricky thing to do. Just if you want to put on the music and the full song, make sure that you don't really stop. And even in the slows, how you can, for example, take the flow from the then weight change into the upper body, just a little bit more, even if you're not weight changing or transferring more weight from one foot to another, how you can still show that the dance is continuing by moving some other part of the body, a little bit of the shoulder, round up a little bit, torso, all of these, or a little bit movement in the hand, even in the head. I mean, whatever, it just needs to flow,
Yeah.
and it doesn't necessarily have to be stepping. I think it's good to involve other parts of the body.
Yes, indeed. That's a nice one. That's a very nice exercise, I think, to put on a song, continue your flow, stepping, tiny body movements.
Yeah.
Is if we think about balance or posture, are there any other exercises you could give as a idea for anyone who wants to practice their slow ball solo?
For balance, well, one of the exercises is trying to move with your eyes closed, I
Oh,
mean, in this case, of course, you need to make sure that the space is safe. Yeah, so not too many chairs, not too many like angular pieces of furniture. But I think that could be very good for balance, because then you will feel your body in a different way, and then you will teach your body to be even more balanced, or balance
yeah.
yourself out certain moments when you step, you know. So that could be one of the exercise, and you don't actually need to move a lot. You can just have a small, like a space, and then just try to move a little bit, but then with the eyes closed, that can definitely like teach you more about balance and how you distribute, weight, your weight on one foot or another, or how you help with other parts of your body, how you use your, what's the name of this, you have the special muscles in the core that the balance muscles that kind of
Your
help you
balance
with,
muscles.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the inside we have the small muscles that all like help you to regulate the balance. Yeah, so, and with your eyes closed you will feel also your body better, so then it also can be like directing it inwards, also like will help you to feel better, like how your body gets
Mm.
engaged
Yeah.
in that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can talk about movement for a long time because I really love it. And actually, I'm thinking I want to develop more in this direction, like body movement practices, body movement therapy, dance therapy. So we'll see, maybe in the future. I keep talking
Yeah.
about it, but not really like moving or announcing things much. But we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, I was just popping up in mind, like, what about stretch? Because I feel sometimes that especially new dancers, like who have no dance experience at all, struggle with stretch. I see myself hanging at a door, but to feel that stretch.
Well,
Do you have any other ideas for training that?
the door is a good thing. The problem with the door is that the door handle, if you touch, for example, the
Mm,
door handle, does not stretch so much. I mean, probably it does, like, because it's some kind of substance, but the metal does not, stretch so much. It's
no.
basically you're practicing the stretch on your side. So what I'm thinking is that you could use any stretchier material, like a scarf or a piece of I don't know, a rubber band or something that can imitate the connection with a human being, because on their side they also kind of stretch away a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
use something like this. You can use the door, but just attaching to the door handle, like a rubber band or like a scarf. Yes.
Really helpful. Yeah. Use your
Yeah.
tools. Yeah. Nice. Looking at iSolo Balboa, there are also balance exercises in that one I saw and things about posture. What can people expect? So, what is part of the training program that you offer in iSolo Balboa?
Well, it doesn't have to be a training program, like a program, like a built-in program, because I filmed videos and I grouped them in different topics. Like you have a topic on triples, a topic on turns, a topic on slides. And what you could do, you can just get access to everything. And this is what most of the people do. So they buy a subscription, 1 month or 6 months or 12 months, and they get access to all the videos. And you can choose in what order you wanna, try these videos. And you can be very independent, like choosing, okay, now I want to do this, I want to practice this. And some people do that. But I also offer like a little help and coaching on my side. And it is already included in a 6 month and a 12-month plan. Because those who have this subscription, they get I call it PPP, personalized practice plan. So what I ask people to do is send the video so I can watch them dancing, and then we usually meet in Zoom, and then I talk to what they need to practice first, and then create some kind of plan for them, or just talk about exercises that would be helpful specifically for them. Yes, and then we would also meet up in person. We could meet up in person because this option is in the 12-month subscription. So I can see the progress, once they got their practice plan and they practice for a couple of months, and then we can either meet in Zoom if we cannot meet in person. But very often, because I travel so much, people find me at some
Yeah.
event, and at a festival, we usually schedule like a private lesson, which is included already. They don't have to
Yeah.
pay for it. And then I
Nice.
can also look and I can feel in person what's happening with their body, and then I can give feedback, or like again tell them, no, maybe you need to watch those videos about turning technique again, or just explain one more time, and,
Yeah.
dance to them.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed the lessons that I saw there. And it made me like it renewed my enthusiasm for Balboa, even though I've been focusing on slow for quite some years now. But I was like, I want to get back into the fast dancing. But what is next for iSolo Balboa?
Well, this is a good question. It's pretty hard for me as well, because I am in a kind of slightly passive stage now with my project, because I was in the beginning, I was very enthusiastic and I put up a lot of video. And in the beginning of the pandemic, I ran some marathons and I burned myself out a little bit with this.
Mm.
So I remember I spent so much time in the dance studio, basically sleeping there, because I wanted to feel more and more, at once. So I think I overdid it a little bit. So it didn't do good for me, and I lost a little bit of the passion and enthusiasm about it. I still have a lot of ideas that they are meticulously written in an Excel document, because I'm a very systematic person. I need to write everything in tables and create systems, because it is easy for myself, to develop information, but also like to keep it all, in the head. So like there are ideas that I haven't developed yet. I mean, haven't filmed yet. There are some that I have already filmed, but I haven't edited. And sometimes students ask me like, "You promised this," and then I'm like, "Yes, I know I filmed it." But it's just like it's so it's not easy for me. Like in the past year, to encourage myself, or to like put my foot down and say, "Yeah, Olga, you should do it." So maybe this talk and this interview will help me to, like you say, reignite the interest and enthusiasm. And just because I remember how passionate and enthusiastic I was, and also remember how how much it was helpful for other people, because especially in the beginning, people wrote to me a lot in emails and personal messages on Facebook. And it's very good. It was really great to hear the feedback, because on the platform, I mean, apart from those Zoom lessons, you don't really get a chance to communicate with people. So it was very nice when people actually came back to me and said, "Olga, I enjoyed so much. Thank you very much that you did it." So that is also kind of helping to bring back the passion, the energy. Yes. So like, to sum up, I do want to film more, edit more, put up more courses, maybe run a marathon, because I did Oldtimers Part 1, but there are so many more Oldtimers. So I promised to do Part 2 and I never got a chance to do it. So that could be the future of my project. Yes, and just give life to my ideas, because not all of the ideas are still there, on the platform. They're here and on the paper and on the in the Excel, and I think it's important to give life to them.
Yes. Well, I at least am also already very grateful what is there, because it's really great that you offer a way to practice dancing, in this case Balboa, solo. Not everyone has the luck of having a dance partner, of being near other dancers. So this is a great way to keep growing as a dancer, to evolve yourself and become a better dancer and enjoy the dance. So thank you very much for that, for making it, for starting it.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this subject up. And I'm thinking also doing slow Balboa solo. That could be one of the ideas that I could potentially develop. I mean, of course, already, like you said, there are a lot of material, and I'm asking myself, well, quite a lot of ideas that are already there, they can be used in slow dancing. Just do it slowly, like same variation, but slowly, like learn to do it with this continuity. Yes. So, I mean, nothing stops you or anybody else to kind of transition, all of these ideas from fast Balboa to slow Balboa. But probably creating a separate course, it could be an idea as well. I actually had a few people asking me, not many, but a few, that were asking me, like, are you thinking about slow solo Balboa, Olga? Maybe you should do it. And this request came from the people who are so interested in slow Balboa.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can imagine, yes.
That could be a way, maybe. Yeah.
Yes, so well, I hope there will be a slow ball program in the future. But whether it be slow or fast, I hope we inspired people to not be limited by not having a dance partner, or feeling you need something else to practice, that you can do this alone, and that there are many different ways to practice. Yeah, so I hope lots of people will get into solo dancing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, right? Yes.
Please do practice solo, everyone. It's so important. And so much fun as well. I mean, for me, it was a big time of creativity and inspiration. I remember I was like constantly asking myself this question: what if, and what if, and what if? And it was so much fun, so much fun. So it's just like fountain of creativity.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. Thank you very much for this interview. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun.
I hope to see you again on the dance floor.
Yeah, we'll see each other on the
Thank
dance
you
floor.
very much.
Bye.